courtesy of a Ghanaian Pan-African YouTuber, blogger, Now, there is this question of Captain Ibrahim Traoré should try and put a stop on all the attempts and the cravings of the international community, when it comes to the question of his legitimacy as a constitutional order in Burkina Faso. I have seen this information in my comment section. I have seen it in some Telegram society. I've seen it in so many communities where people are now discussing, this particular issue that Captain Ibrahim Traoré should call for a referendum in Burkina Faso so that, when the people say yes, that yes, they want him as their leader and they want him to continue ruling Burkina Faso. They said that is going to be, a way of him legitimizing himself. Okay, so thank you very much at that. I want first of all say thank you. One thing I want a lot of people to understand is that Burkina Faso is a revolution. That's what I don't think people listen, right? Captain Ibrahim Traoré said Burkina Faso is a revolution. And that revolution is called a popular people's revolution. Now, again, before I get started, right? Because I don't really I don't like getting on. I don't like talking about issues that are controversial. Okay, I like talking about issues that are impactful. Okay, this particular topic is actually even disrespectful that some of us are even entertaining this particular discourse. Because entertaining this type of conversation is like sending a message to the forces that are trying to oppress us in Africa that, okay, you got us. Okay, the pressure is getting to us. Now we are having a conversation about referendum. Oh, now you are telling them, put more pressure. They will now start, no, we're not okay with referendum. Okay? So even talking about the fact that, okay, Captain Ibrahim Traoré should call for a referendum so that it can be seen as a legitimate authority, that means something is wrong with the mindset of whoever is asking that question, that you don't even know where you stand. Who told you that Burkina Faso is following the template of the West? Who told you that Burkina Faso wants to be, a country or an authority that the West must put a stamp that yes, now we are not going that route. A lot of people, I don't know, when I looked at the whole concept, I asked myself, first of all, I said, what is it that defines you as a Pan-African individual? Like, how do you mean you are Pan-African? You see, there is this new innovation. Families, there's a lot going on this there's a lot going on currently, and this is another opportunity for me to break one information, because there's a new innovation in South Africa called the Iris. This is an AI powered technology. Walaikum salam. Thank you so much for joining. Now, this is an AI technology that allows people in Africa that don't have the opportunity, the financial capacity to access Western education or Western mode of education, to get education in their indigenous language. Imagine learning physics in your indigenous language. Now, a lot of people people that have been overwhelmed and should I say baptized in the spirit of Western education. They speak like it, they smell like it, they do everything like it. They'll be like, how is that even possible? Then ask yourself, how are the Russians? How are they innovating? How are they keeping up? The French language is different from the English language, but yet they study the same physics. The Chinese is different. Everything is written in their language. Right? Welcome to the building, family. Welcome, brother. Welcome. So now when you look at all this thing, so development is happening by the day. Innovations are coming in. We must start learning. In fact, Mali took that step straight away. But to me, it's a little bit odd because I don't understand the Malian language, okay? But Africa must start approaching that sovereignty. Because the West is back in Africa. So the DRC, okay? They've got DRC in the bag. Kenya is in the bag. Nigeria is in the bag. Courtesy of France. US and France. I think there is a move right now. DRC, US, and France. We broke the news yesterday, you can see, right? Kenya, US, and France. Right? There is something they call the rule-based order, the unipolar world order. I won't lie to you. You see that order, that global sphere, that arrangement. When one of them tells you that they are against, that he or she is against you, the rest are against you. It's not just one person. So whichever way or form they are coming, just know they are still coming as one. Because it is only in their unity, that's how they get their strength. But that is not even the discourse, okay? So before anybody come out and say that Captain Ibrahim Traoré should call for a referendum, that means that that individual needs to, first of all, address the issue of self-esteem, okay? That means you are looking at whatever is going on in Africa as if it's, I understand. Colonialism did a very, very bad job. It's nasty work all the way. Because I believe that thing is still there, that what we are doing is still not, okay? You are still allowing people to dictate the tempo of your activity. Burkina Faso don't dress like the West. Did you see the meeting of ECOWAS? Did you see the meeting? The economic meeting they had with some other Western, you saw everybody was on suits, right? Did you see the way Burkina Faso people dress? They dress in their indigenous clothing. When we, checked what they imported from the United States, none of it, there was no clothes. They make their things there. They have cottons. They have everything. Burkina Faso is moving in a direction that even some people don't understand, even within Africa. So, you see, to me, I don't even think this conversation of they should call for a referendum. Look, first of all, let me take it a little bit to another degree, right? To another direction. So, if these people can price Greenland, they can price every individual for $100,000, right? Do you think there is no amount of money that they will not be ready to spend to buy out people? Captain Ibrahim Traoré just wants to build Burkina Faso for the people of Burkina Faso. Then you can now be talking about what his decision would be. We don't know his decision right now. We will let him decide. We will let him decide. So, I mean, look at somebody like Damiba, who has not even returned, talking about destroying drones of how many millions. And I'm very, very sure those you see, when these people come back, they will destroy everything that is related to progress that the country has achieved and find a way to take everything back because it's not done by them. Now, Burkina Faso, I don't know how to speak again to the mind of people, because how many ECOWAS countries are talking about independent satellite communication system that cannot be, infiltrated by the West? That is sovereignty. Everything Burkina Faso do, everything they lay their hand on right now is speaking sovereignty. When they beat the drum, is talking sovereignty. These are the only 3 countries in Africa that went head to head with the United States and immediately, oh, thank you for joining the membership. Thank you so much. You're welcome to the house. So they were the only 3 countries, right, that had the cojones to tell the US we will reciprocate your visa restriction. We will give you back. Now, Niger went over the bar and even said, we are banning you completely. That is so, see, look, you have to look beyond where you are looking. These people are not even saying, see, oh God. You see, let me be honest with you, right? I think this mentality exists around the ECOWAS bloc. That there is nothing that can be done without the approval of the West. Nothing they can do is legitimate or proper. So that's why I first of all want to thank that South African sister. Thank you very much. You know, the West are trying so bad to make sure that they have some sort of relationship with the Sahel states. They are trying so hard. Good morning, family. Good morning. They are trying so hard to have some sort of relationship with the Sahel states. And we know that relationship, we cannot even trust that relationship like that. We cannot trust that relationship like that because I've said it and I stand my ground. Why is it that they are always sending representative delegations after a major, escalation, right? Or a planned escalation? Then they send delegation. General Langley was a planned escalation. They failed. They sent a delegation. The people are hungry. Go and appease them. A failed coup plot by Damiba, right? A failed attempt, right? And a lot of people you still don't get that message that they said some people were waiting outside to reinforce Damiba after he must have infiltrated. Who are those people? And a lot of people will still be deceiving themselves. They live in the 1920s. Anybody that knows the true story of the Black Hawk Down in Mogadishu, you will know that those people are not really, really legit like that. You see that Venezuela episode, that Venezuela chapter that you are looking at right there, it was, look, they've already completed the job before they went in. Baboliko, thanks so much. I appreciate the donation, right? They've already bribed whoever. See, Maduro was sold before they infiltrated Venezuela. Mogadishu in Somalia, one of the worst. Go and look at the document. One of the worst outing of the U.S. forces. They will never. I'm telling you, they will never forget Mogadishu. You hear Donald Trump calling the Somalis, is calling them different names. I'm telling you, they will never forget that. They will never. Even myself, I have never seen so much, disaster coming from a rifle. So anybody that just think they can just run into anywhere and just do what, it's not that easy. It's not that easy at all. I was looking at an update yesterday. Burkina Faso have more than 30. Now, let me explain something to a lot of people that they don't understand. You see, when you hear Rapid Intervention Brigade 1, it's for a particular province in Burkina Faso. When you hear Rapid Intervention Brigade 2, it's for a particular region in Burkina Faso. Now they have almost, I think they have more than 30. They are going above 30 now. That is, they have 30 different special forces for different regions. And each special force have different level of ferocity. Now, there's a particular special force that is very, very close to Ouagadougou. That is the BIR-7. The former unit of Watao. That's BIR-7. Anywhere those guys touch, they touch it differently, right? So you have 30 different special forces within Burkina Faso. You have VDP. Like the way you have the BIR, you have the same, in that same place, you have VDP, like that are there. You have forest guards, you have other special forces, you have police special forces, you have a lot of people think that Burkina Faso is just, an easy, an easy stroll, you know. So, I mean, the way things work in West Africa, who is that person that can actually say that they can, say that by this time, at this point in time, that Burkina Faso will have this level of security? I remember, right, in 2021 or 2022, no, I think 2021, during Damiba's regime, the JNIM wiped out 97 Burkinabes in one day. One day. I'm talking about within hours. The JNIM were not having skirmish with troops. They were having their skirmish with citizens. They controlled above 40%. Imagine if above 40, I'm not talking, when you say control, it's not like they are maybe coming from the bush, like they are the authorities. Now imagine how much work Burkina Faso have done in this few years of Captain Ibrahim Traoré. And one person, it's like people are getting too excited, right? And look at the footing of somebody like Damiba that was attempting to come back to power. Destroy the capabilities that have helped to suppress the activities of the terrorists. We know there are enemies all around. We know. You even say, if you look at the interview I posted yesterday, you can see that those guys, we are all on the same page. They know that there are enemies around. There are enemies, I mean, sworn enemies. Like I said, if they had successfully moved Damiba to Ivory Coast or Algeria, those two countries, even the International Criminal Court will not be able to get Damiba out of those countries. They will shamelessly keep Damiba there. And to be honest with you, this says, look, a lot of people will say it's the Ivorian leadership. You think it's the Ivorian leadership? Where is the leadership coming from? The leadership is coming from within the people. So there is a way your leadership behave. The people representing you, are they not the best Ivory Coast can produce? So, I mean, it says a lot. I'm telling you, it says a lot about the people. And when you look at Algeria too, you look at their behavior with Mali, it says a lot about those people. This is open, this is black and white. And the action of Faure Gazimbe shows that, the Togolese people, they are different too. So either they like it or not, either they like it or not, Damiba will now have to face the law. They've not announced the date of his hearing, but there are some informations that we are hearing that in his very first very first interrogation, Damiba is speaking like in different tongues, like he's already calling, like, when you look at the jaws of Damiba, you actually feel like maybe he's seriously strong like that. But in fact, when I heard the news, I was very, very disappointed because he really looked like a strong man. But at the end of the day, he doesn't really look like that. He doesn't really, have that cojones in him like that. So, and imagine the intention that Damiba had. So a lot of people are saying that, Togo said that predators just Togo said that nothing should happen. They should not sentence him to death and all of that. Well, I will tell you the truth. He should not be sentenced to death based on money laundering charges. Okay? So when he gets to Burkina Faso, before he faced that, he will now answer a fresh case in Burkina Faso together with his comrades. So the least they will be getting, the least will be a life imprisonment. I should give you a shout out. Comfortable for life. Shout out to you. You can actually tell us where you're from. Actually, that would be better. Let's know the country you are representing. Thank you so much for joining the channel, being a first timer, and you like what we do. Thank you so much. So that is the information I want to put out there. That first of all, this issue of referendum in Burkina Faso is not something that should even be. I love the fact that some people are concerned and they're talking about it, but it's not an ideology that I entertain like that. I could be wrong, okay? Because Burkina Faso is an open book. We are seeing everything, and before people could, the people that planned the coup d'etat, we saw them, they were paid. It was initiated. It was a coup d'etat. People were bought, okay, by, Damiba, and Ouattara is not from Ivory Coast. Okay, I'm going to make my research. So the truth is, I even heard that Alassane Ouattara and his younger brother are currently having issues. Right now, they say serious issues in Ivory Coast. But, I'm not going to go with that. That's not our business. So the thing is this, right, families? If you are saying we should go with a referendum, that means you are sending a message to the West that we feel your pressure, okay? We are not going to have an election now, but we are going to start with a referendum. We are not going to do that. No amount of pressure is going to dictate what we are about to do. And now, the people that brought out this conversation of referendum, they messed up the whole conversation by saying it puts some sort of legitimacy. Who told you that somebody somewhere would be the one to tell us that, okay, this is what you call legitimacy? That's why, this is the reason why Africa will continue to be second class. Because we don't have any system that we can call our own. You can't define your morality. Is it people that are bringing LGBTQ to you, right? Is it people that are bringing all these things to you that want to come and tell you how to govern yourself? They cannot teach us about morality because they have zero moral justification to say anything. They have zero. So whoever is coming with that conversation of, is it a mission in Gaza that you want to talk about? So those are the people that will come and tell you that, oh, now you are illegitimate. No, we are not moving in that direction. I don't know how a lot of people are thinking, actually. We've had so many PhD holders on our platform that came to embarrass themselves, thinking that, the quality of thinking, is equivalent to the paper certificate you carry. No, it has nothing to do with that. Families. It has nothing, because you can speak quality English does not mean you are really legitimate like that. Okay? We've seen a lot of pro-Western, puppets that jump into our Telegram channel. You're watching from Canada. Shout out to you, brother. So, ladies and gentlemen, you see, Burkina Faso will continue with their development. We love what they are doing. Look, see, the referendum is already out. Look. I won't be here if Burkina Faso is not a good place. If the people are not being governed well, the people would have Abba. Africa should set their own standard. Thank you very much. That is why the West, that is why they are fighting. And look, they are using the stick and carrot technique. They are fighting, and at the same time they are sending in delegations, right? It's like I inject you with, okay, I get you, family. It's like I inject you with something and I turn away and I'm studying you, and I come back after some minutes, with the intent, that thing would have incubated, and I'm asking you, I hope you are okay. I have I can help you out. Because if you look at what the US delegations are proposing, they are proposing, we can support you We are taking you as a priority nation. You know, we are ready to stand by you. Those are the words, right? And we are really, really talking about security like that. So that's it. Is very, this thing is very, very clear. I inject you, I'm expecting you to respond a certain way. And the last time Captain Ibrahim Traoré gave a response, he said, don't pity us, we don't even pity ourselves. So with the cool, look, they've seen that the kinetic approach is no longer working. Do you get? The kinetic approach was not working. Then, okay, they tried the coup d'etat. Now, I'm going to tell you this, okay? Another countermeasure that Burkina Faso have made now will be the new satellite. You know, oh, shout out to you, brother. You know, the satellite connection, right, in collaboration with Russia. So even as well, you know, shout out to you. Shout out to Prince Sioma from Zambia. Shout out to you, man. Should make a movie about Damiba. Honestly, they should make a movie about Damiba. You know, Burkina Faso has so much technological capabilities that they can actually, you know, they can do a documentary. They can do a lot of things about Damiba. Burkina Faso, to me, I won't lie to you, right now, based on the pace at which, you know, they are moving, I think Burkina Faso is, they are rising fastest right now in Africa. You know, when you look at Burkina Faso is sprinting, and they have the stamina to sprint for a very long time. They are sprinting with morality. They are sprinting with transparency. They are sprinting with intelligence, credibility. They are sprinting with integrity. Shout out to you, family from Trinidad. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. So you see, thank you very much. Burkina Faso is doing something every day, you know, and the West don't like this. You see, I think that France have even accepted, you know, I think France have now conceded, you know, the knockdown have been scored. That's why you see them in Congo. That's why you see them in, you know, you're seeing them in Nigeria. You're seeing them in Kenya. Kenya is Anglophone, right? Kenya they don't speak French now. But you see them there. They're trying to arrest the financial system, you know. If IB is supposed to, if he even, you know, entertain the idea for a second, you know, yeah, they don't like good example. They don't like good example at all. They've never liked good example in their life. You know, as long as that thing cannot be traced back to them, then it's not good. You know, one thing I watched, I will tell you, family, I watched this movie called Black Hawk Down. I watched it when I was very, very young. I didn't have the Pan-African mind at that time. You know, my mind wasn't screwed in the Pan-African way. In fact, when I watched the movie, you know, America, they always come like the savior of the world. At the end of the movie, families, I cried. You know, I was very young then. So recently, I watched the movie again, and I was like, "Come on, man, you are just like." It was that movie was a setup, and when you look at the latest documentary, what the Somalis were saying, completely different from what those Rangers and Delta Force guys were saying. Completely. According to the people that were on the ground, they said the US forces were shooting everybody on site at a certain point. Everybody. And these guys were busy lying that they were picking out, you know. Even if France wants to have a military base in Nigeria, they can go ahead. Families, are you bothered about? No. Let me let me say one simple thing right now. The last country anybody should be bothered about right now is Nigeria. Look, Benin Republic. No, now please forget Benin Republic. Nigeria know what? See, Nigeria is about mouth. Go to the internet. Nigeria is about. As a Nigerian came to my comment section yesterday and was like, I am one of those guys that have support from the neighboring countries around Nigeria that dislikes Nigeria. He's a Nigerian guy. He's from my tribe. He did not even know, right, that I'm a Nigerian. Just that our mindset is completely different. Probably one of the Tinubu supporters, the blind ones, the tribalistic ones, because he's a Yoruba person. Ho, ho, anything that Tinubu does. You see, that is why Nigeria is not moving. Because of elements like that. Okay? So, so the last country Burkina Faso should be worried about is Nigeria. Did you see what I just said about Burkina Faso? Do you know Burkina Faso is fighting modern warfare. Burkina Faso, do you know that what ISWAP did against Nigerian? Look, did you see the analysis from the Ghanaian, the military colonel yesterday, the retired colonel, right? The man actually gave you all the calculus. Yes, I don't know if a lot of people have watched that video. The man actually spelled it out that Nigeria is still fighting the whole world type of combat. You know, they don't. ISWAP was fighting, and ISWAP had the drone capability. They had a guy, the Nigerian forces had a guy with camera that was actually watching. So tell me, if you have a UAV on Overwatch and a suicide bomber was creeping in, right? Probably it was, the Scorpion move. And you want to tell me, right, that they won't notice that they won't notice that the suicide bomber was coming closer. They will notice. And guess what? The guy that saw the suicide bomber first, instead of giving like a notification to the others that a suicide bomber was there, that was the first statement he was supposed to make. And the next thing he did, he was like, Oga, Oga, Oga. A lot of you, a lot of people, you are giving Nigeria too much props. That's the problem. America is dictating the calculus of the Nigerian combat. This is where these jets should fly to. These jets must not be taken to so theater of operation. Nigeria don't have any defense capability. I'm talking about deterrence weapons. Like they don't have any air defense system of like any reasonable credibility. It's just a country with so many people. And how do you develop a country with so many people? You guys love giving birth for whatever reason, and you have so many people, right? So, and the next thing you have is, and they like to bully. When the professor or whatever, when the doctor came to our Telegram channel, was trying to tell somebody on the Telegram channel that he's educated, he has a PhD or that. And I asked him, as a Nigerian that he is, what have you innovated that have positively affected the GDP of your country? And he ran away. We knocked them out. Don't let any Nigerian bully you. Nigerians are not like that. And that is why they continue to have the type of leadership they have. They are tribalistic, they are hateful, they can't think straight, and it's so unfortunate. And that is why I'm very, very thankful that the majority of the people in the Andre community, they are not Nigerians. I have good Nigerians there, but majority, I have US first, then UK, then Canada, then the Caribbean, Jamaica, a lot of countries. Nigeria is not even top 7. And that is very, very important for me. Because, for you to speak the truth to Nigerians, it means you have to be tribalistic. It means you have to hate a certain, if let's say a certain tribe dominates your audience base, it means that you have to hate the man. These people, these people are, they are different. Honestly, they are different. And that is why, Tuntun said the population of Nigeria is a security is a security threat to West Africa. Oh, the Android, my Telegram channel actually carries it carries the logo of this particular Android. Just type Android TV, you will see it carries the same color, the same logo, and everything like that. We drop so much information there, and all of that. So a country like Ghana have electricity, very, very good electricity. Several other countries, but Nigerians are bragging for what I don't know, defending what I don't know. So let's continue. Okay. So that is the issue of the referendum. So nobody right now should tell Burkina Faso how to move, because they are moving the right way. What we are doing is we are supporting their movement because they are moving the right way. They are not jumping. They are stepping properly. They are not giving spaces. Security wise, they are building well. Technology wise, Burkina Faso, they are sending people, out of the country to go and get good education from different nations. Imagine when the Nigerians see Lockheed aircraft, was brought down in Burkina Faso, okay? Exactly. I don't know what Nigerians are bragging about. Anthony Joshua had an accident, they modeled him up in one very aboki vehicle like that. And there is another big problem in, that's Anthony Joshua, right? That's the Nigerian reality. They bottled him into one very, very musty vehicle like that. It's not a country. I don't like. I'm being honest now. During the last election, I told those people, you can see for yourself. Another 4 years is going. Oh, so you see, the people of DRC and Nigeria, they are the same. Like they have the same. They have a lot in common. Like awful lot in common. You can see that even in the Nations Cup, Nigeria came to rescue DRC from the hands of Algeria, right? So they have a lot. There's a lot in common between the two countries. You can't help anything about those two countries. You just have to leave the fight. When it comes to Nigeria, leave the fight for God. I don't even talk about their counter-terrorism information, because the official source will give you one particular version. The terrorists will give you a counter version that is so clear. The jihadists, this particular fight the ISWAP had with the Nigerian troops, right? The jihadists dropped a very clear video. They dropped a very clear image. Everything was so clear. So, I don't understand. What these people are proud of is what I don't still understand. That's one thing they are bragging about. Oh, when they want, Burkina Faso have national industries, infrastructure all over the place. Is national. It's national. It's national. But in Nigeria, the only thing they can point at is Dangote, right? Is he national? It's for one man. It's a capitalist system. Okay. So that's the problem, okay? And the people, the Nigerians I pity are the Nigerians that don't have the opportunity to speak out, whose voice are being overshadowed by some of these ones that are killing They are killing the struggle because they're not letting the world see that there are some Nigerians that are really, really struggling hard. You know, in Nigeria, the capable ones are not even the one leading. You know, for somebody to lead, it has to be that, okay, you are the son of so politician, or you know this person that knows this person that knows this person. And that is why they continue to get the type of result they get on every side, on sports, on anything you want to talk about. 300 million people. That's why Bill Gates continue to say that Nigerian population is a problem. You know, at the time, I was very, very angry with him. But if you look at it critically, the population is already becoming unbecoming, because you cannot have 300 million people that are always antagonizing anything that is good. You know, when the issue of the Burkinabe VDP happened in the northern part of Ghana, right? They were very, very excited. They were like horror for horror. They thought it was an internet banter. People that cannot calculate, that cannot think. Everybody on our Telegram channel can testify. The people that have been pro-Western on our this thing, they are all Nigerian. Most of them, in fact, 90% are Nigerians. Imagine somebody jumping to our Telegram channel and saying Donald Trump is here to save the world. Can you imagine that statement? Donald Trump is in. So it tells you a lot about, you know, this group of people, you know. So, families, yesterday, the Malian Armed Forces in Kidal, they actually launched a precision hit on 2 jihadist vehicles. These vehicles were filled up with jihadists. And, you know, by the time they hit these 2 vehicles, you know, everything that was on that vehicle praised God differently. So the Malians actually delivered the 72 virgins to these individuals on the platter. So after delivering these decorated virgins to this bunch of jihadists, you know, the next thing that happened was that the Malians started recovering different equipments. They started recovering equipment. They started recovering a lot of things. And what they found at some point, they found a lot of drugs, a lot of hard drugs. Okay. Now, it comes down to what the point is. Where have we seen this type of pattern before? We've seen it in Syria, where, you know, the Zionist regime give these drugs to the people that are fighting, you know, on behalf of them, the ICs, you know, so that when they get pierced by whatever type of lead, you know, they won't feel the pain, even if they are, you know. So that is what they have been doing to this JNI. Now, a lot of times you will hear that the Malian Armed Forces actually creased some of this JNIM. And when you look at the evidence that we post sometimes on our Telegram channel, either the Burkinabe or the Malian Armed Forces, when you look at the level of carnage, you know, the face, everything, very, very devastating, right? And you will still hear that some of them escape with bullet wounds. So after some days, some of them end up giving up and all of that. And to address that issue, they started, you know, shipping in drugs. They started shipping in normal saline. They started training some people among this bunch of jihadists on how to, you know, attend to emergencies like, you know, all this type of injuries, but not the ones that catch them at the femoral triangle, but in some particular places. They are tourniquets, they have BP, they have sphygmomanometer, they have everything that you can actually use to, like, first of all, save a patient, resuscitate, then before, I don't know where they normally transfer their own patients to. So it is how much these people are ready to destroy Africa. And if Africans are not careful, okay, a second recolonization is coming. And some Africans don't care. They want to be recolonized. You see them calling on the West to come and recolonize them. It's out in the open. They are obviously calling on the West that please come and recolonize us. And you see that Donald Trump, he answered that call very swiftly. He answered at God's speed. But the question now is this. So they called Donald Trump, and the annoying part of it was that they were saying, "Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, our daddy." And 12 p.m. yesterday in the afternoon, I think 5 minutes past 12, right? It was the Nigerian troop, the indigenous citizens of Nigeria. They are not just soldiers, because first of all, those men, they are Nigerians before they are Nigerian soldiers. They are the defenders of Nigeria as a country. They were the ones that laid down their life yesterday. America shot those failed payload from what distance? We did not even know the direction those bombs came from. Somebody said they shot 12. He shot 12. From evidence, almost 8 did not detonate. And deals have already been agreed. That is what a lot of people don't understand. Deals have already been. America does not do things. You will not pay America your dead currency. Your dead, the most dangerous, one of the most dangerous currency in Africa right now. You won't pay to America for those bombs that did not detonate. You will pay with minerals. And when you ask them, they will say, oh, they don't even know if Nigeria has minerals. They don't care. They don't do this. They don't do that. I can't remember the last time Nigeria was good. I can't remember. Now, you see, there's this thing in Nigeria that exists now that when you see, when Nigerians, when somebody say we have a breaking news, right? And it has to do, they want to hear bad information because that is what they are now wired to listen to. Like, oh, this thing happened in so place. Oh, they've kidnapped in so place. If you know how happy I was yesterday when I was reading about countries in Africa without terrorism, and I was seeing Botswana, I was seeing Namibia, it was so exciting. It was so exciting to hear this kind of information that there are still some countries in Africa, where you don't have mujahids. You cannot travel in this country. You cannot. You will leave Lagos and you say you want to travel to somewhere else. No. It's going to be too It's going to be too dangerous. It's going to be desperately dangerous. I told my partner yesterday that I was going to travel. She was telling me to just make sure that I tell her everything. I tell her about everything I have. That there is a high chance, man, that that's the reality of this country. But people will come online, tell lies, hide everything. Tinubu will say, they will clap. I'm not saying these are things that are out there. Tinubu will say, they will clap. I don't understand. I don't see. I don't know if I'm the only one living in this type of nightmare that I'm living in. I don't know when Nigeria became this. I don't know. This is 2026. Look at the speed of Burkina. Look at the speed. A country where somebody is stealing 20 billion. Do you know how much job? Do you know how much infrastructural development that 20 billion will create? So, families, this is just a submission. I said, people have been talking. I love Tuntun. Tuntun is doing a very, very fantastic job for Africa. He speaks the truth. He's a true Pan-Africanist. He's a great Pan-Africanist in my own opinion. But you see, this who owns Nigeria media outlets? Let me first, let me clarify that. When the United States, let me give you a clear evidence now, right? When the United States launched those Tomahawk missiles, I think Arise channel, I was following, I was dropping their updates. They were so critical on the first day, and they actually spoke about the whole thing, that it was a failed bombing mission, which is worse in reality. But after that was the last day, Arise gave the legitimate information on what happened. The next day, you start hearing things like, yes, even a lot of people on those platforms said, the journalists were actually demonstrating, and they were rehearsing, and they were doing a lot of things because they've gotten calls. When you tell the truth, it's a threat on national security. David Udain, one of the best investigative journalists in Africa, if even around the planet, is one of the best. He's a Nigerian, but his life. Go and listen to his story. He ran out of Nigeria. His life was under threat. So it just tells you will hear that. Oh man, I don't even need to say some things, man. It's the situation is crazy, honestly. So that's why I made up my mind that I'm not going to remain in this country in 2026. Thank you very much. Very brilliant. The thing is, the brilliant mind in Nigeria, they are leaving Nigeria. Okay, the brilliant mind are leaving in large quantity. Okay, the ones that are left, you are seeing the representation at the leadership level. So that is the real story of the day right now. The ones that are left in Nigeria currently, you can see, the result is out there in the open. So it's not really a big deal right now. So right now we are not. I'm not thinking about the Nigerian dream anymore. Yeah, I've done well for myself. I've served Nigeria. I've served the government. I've, in every capacity that I can. I'm a tactical civilian. I've done my best, giving my best to this country. And, before this year runs out, I'll go and give that best to another country. I can't continue. I can't continue like this. I can't continue like this. You are going to be paying taxes heavily now. I'm talking about maybe someone like me. Yeah, that's true. You pay taxes, but there was one information that we received yesterday, that one of the guys in charge of the taxation was wearing a watch of, I think they said 40 something million. you know we've not even started, right? So I'm not ready to continue to listen to anything that relates to this country once I leave this country. That is just the honest truth. Yeah, I'm moving to an African country. I'm moving to an African country down south. Yeah, I'm moving to an African country down south. And the country is set already. I've done my research, I've done everything. I have my laser focus on Namibia, 100%. Nigeria can never look at the example of Burkina Faso. Nigerians are even hating. You have a serious percentage that hates what is going on in Burkina Faso, because look, let me tell you something. No hard feeling. People are fighting for their interests. You had a large number, right, that hate what is going on in Burkina Faso because, like I've said severally on this platform, that what is going on in Burkina Faso is exposing a lot of people. Okay, so some people see whatever is going on in Burkina Faso as a threat, okay, on their fake sovereignty. you know, exactly, 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 exactly. You're right. You know, I'm telling you, you only have few strong ones that say that love Burkina Faso. And probably if you have any Nigerian politician rooting for Burkina Faso, maybe he's probably doing it so that, oh, my brother is in the building. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. So so yeah, that's my elder brother in the building. So I kind of recognize the name, or maybe someone else, but that name is directly my brother's name. So the thing is, you see, if you have any Nigerian politicians supporting Burkina Faso right now, they are doing it because of the youth. You see, when you say politicians, you are talking about the Nigerian elements. When you say politicians, like that promise you heaven and earth, and at the end of the day, welcome to the building. He's my brother. So you have the Nigerian politicians doing their thing. The CV, and at the end of the day, if they say, "Oh, we love Captain Ibrahim Traoré," no, it's a setup. It's a setup. Nigerians they've cut that deal. They've cut the deal. They are not going to get out of it. Look at how Donald Trump is acting with Nigeria. So, but the mental, picture must be erased. That picture of that picture that they're trying to paint, that Nigeria is the giant of Africa. So if your country does not have the population like Nigeria have, you don't have this, you don't have that, you are not. No, 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 no. Gone are the days, like I said. Your population can be so big, but yet that population is not effective. Okay. Even if the Nigerian population is effective, you have people in key positions that are going to make sure that you are not going to get good results. Yeah, you're not going to get good results. So, but you can see that in Burkina Faso, how many million people, with great people all over the world from Burkina Faso, I mean, they are doing great. That's the only country in Africa right now where any African can go to from all around the world, and you can be rest assured that you will find yourself, like you will find your place. This is the only country, these are the only countries that are protecting the interest of Africans, that care about Africans, wherever you are. Jamaica, be it, what country do I want to talk about? Haiti. These guys are monitoring what is happening with Africans all over the globe. They care. The foreign minister of Burkina Faso, said something recently that he said that they are not going to accept Africans in chains. The Africans by themselves can apply to come to Burkina Faso. Nobody is going to put Africans in chains and you send them to Burkina Faso. That no, they're not going to do that. You know, they are always talking about honor. They are always talking about integrity. They are always talking about respect. You have to respect them. You have to respect Africans. These people are just great people. I won't lie to you. They are great people. And gradually, I can't blame a lot of people because a lot of people mentally they are colonized. Okay. So, but gradually Burkina Faso is coming back. A lot of people are coming back. Sorry. A lot of people are mentally coming back. A lot of people are getting mentally decolonized. And that is what it's about right now. Getting mentally decolonized, because the problem is in the mental, then gradually everything will start changing. My brother from 80, yeah, salute to you, man. Salute to you, man. I really, really appreciate everyone in the Andre community because this community is like a backbone for me. Um, this community is a community I take so much pride in. I go anywhere with my heart on my sleeve, knowing that I have a group of formidable people. It's a movement. And I talk about the Andre community anywhere, everywhere. You know, everywhere I go to, I represent the right way. So when they talk about, I'm like, okay, the Andre community. Before I talk about my job as a professional, I remind them of the Android community. So it's a strong community, it's a fierce community. And we've been able to do a lot of credible job with the help of Brother Homer. You know, we've been able to delegate responsibilities to some of the most effective on the Android community that are equally from the Alliance of Sahel states. Okay, like Brother Omar Keita. You know, we have a lot of Burkinabes in the Android community on our Telegram too. We have a lot of Malians in the building, you know, and they are helping because I'm a Nigerian, okay, and this is how Africa is going to unite. We have brothers from Haiti, we have brothers from Jamaica, we have people from the United Kingdom, you know, we have yeah, you're right. We have people from all over the globe that are supporting the movement, that are supporting the Sahel, all together we are moving with one vision, and we will not relent. So we will see whatever Captain Ibrahim Traoré says, we are with it. If he says that he wants anything, we are with it. So this is Brother Omar here, the RNTV one is Brother Omar. He has been helping me a lot. He has been helping me a lot. A lot. I won't lie, families. I don't even know how to thank him. I don't know how to thank him. I don't know how to thank him. So, families, I want to go and do some stuff, because it's Saturday morning. Then I think we're going to have a lot of time together today, being Saturday. I know a lot of people will be busy, but you can actually drop your desired time on our Telegram channel. Let us know when you want us to have another live stream. And I think the second live stream will bring news to you directly, and we'll have our discussion about what we think. And yeah, we'll close the show for Saturday. So I really, really want to appreciate everybody in the Andre community. And I want to tell you that Andre does not take you for granted. I really, really love everyone in this community. This is the first time in my life I think I care so much about a group of people, that some of which I have not even seen. I don't know. Like, this used to exist in my head when I was a kid, right? This childhood love where you love someone and you are calling them on the phone. You've never seen them in your life before, but you're emotionally attached to them. So every day I connect with the Andre community, and that is when I have peace. So I really want to appreciate everyone, and I want to say thank you for your support. A luta continua, Victoria Santa. So, families, bye-bye for now. And thanks for your time again. Bye. Divine connection.